La entrevista es presentada por SEYER en los puños de los campeones desde 1930.
Familia, no puedes jugar boxeo. Estamos aquí con Bob Santos. Vamos a hacer esto en inglés. Here we are with Bob Santos, one of the best trainers in the world. I'm not playing around. This is true. When you take a look of the stable, oh my God, you're going to be impressed. Bob, first of all, thanks for having us here in your house. Pound for pound, and it's always a blessing to see you, talk with you, because you are super quiet. You are not a loud guy, but when you think about your stable, your career, and more than that, your legacy. Thanks for having us.
No, thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you, thank you. Let's take a quick look of the stable. It's amazing.
Yeah, we got...
what do you have in these days here?
Well,
I mean,
fortunately, February 1st, obviously, we're going to have Banana Rosario going against the
Jason, yeah.
We're going to have John Easter, the Candy Man, and be
Yeah.
on the same card. And, you know, for the main course, David Morrell, don't forget, I work with David Morrell, and he'll be
Yeah.
fighting David Benavidez. I know Benavidez. I worked
Yeah.
with him for a time. So that should be a barn burner. We're excited about that. I know both guys really, really well. And
Yeah.
that's another guy that's a part of our stable, David Morrell, and the Perot brothers. I call them the Cuban Klitschkos, the
Yeah.
heavyweights. Obviously, Mario Barrios.
Pero guys.
Yeah, the Peros, Mario Barrios, Brian Mendoza.
Brandon Figueroa.
We got a hell of
He's
a lot
here,
of great
yeah.
fighters. Yeah, his dad's obviously the head coach. I'm not, but he happens to train here at the gym, and we're very fortunate to have these type of world-class fighters in and around the gym.
What Bob Santos have, or this gym, which is more like a family house, because everybody wants to be here.
Well, you know, you always want to treat people the way you want to be treated. I think that's first and foremost. I'm a big believer, obviously, in the good Lord Jesus Christ. I'm not
Amen.
perfect. Yeah. Everything needs to be done, in my estimation, through him, for him. We're not perfect. We do the best that we can, I think. But when you create that type of environment, people want to be around. They feel accepted, you know, and no judging going on here. We just want the best and brightest for everybody.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. When you talk about Benavidez Morrell, I truly believe that it's a 55-45 fight.
Okay.
It's on Benavidez because the experience,
Sure.
the opponents,
Sure.
the career, and the
Sure.
record, 29-0, 24 knockouts against 11-0-9. But in the other hand, the amateur style, blah, blah, blah. But you think that, that being said, Benavidez is the favorite? Or is like 50-50?
I think the people think that Benavidez is a favorite for the most part because, like you said,
Yeah.
of experience. But I think people got to realize this. Let's take this with a caveat. Some of Benavidez's fights early on were against lesser opposition, to say the least. You know, so yes, you do get an experience from those fights, but it was way less opposition. I think people are losing sight of the fact that Morrell was fighting a 12-rounder against an undefeated guy for a world title in his third pro fight. So
Yeah, he started.
Yeah, so
in-
if you
in
look at it
12
from his
rounds, yeah.
from his third pro fight on, it's a high level of quality of fighters. Sure, you could say he hasn't fought some of the named guys, but you look at the guy that we fought from Kakistan who had an enormous amount of amateur fights. You look at what he did to him, and you look at what he's done to the opposition. in and
Yamaguchi
around.
Falcao.
Well, you
It's
look,
a bronze medal.
yeah, well, you look at what he's done to those guys in and around that, and it's been no different than Benavidez. I will tell you this. I know both guys well, and there's no doubt in my mind, Morrell's the bigger puncher. Anything can happen in a fight.
So do you believe it's a heavy hitter?
Morrell's the bigger
Regarding
puncher.
Morrell. Okay. I'm learning.
Yeah, well, you know,
No.
it doesn't make me the utmost authority on it, but I know both guys.
But you work with both of them. I mean,
So, you know, that being said, if you look at it, I think Morrell has a plethora of ways to victory. I don't think Benavidez has as many paths to victory as Morrell does. I think Morrell can do a lot more things.
Okay.
And I'll tell you another thing, you know, people are losing sight of the fact that you go experience. James Toney had a hell of a lot of experience when he fought Roy Jones Jr.
I got you. Yeah.
But
yeah.
we all seen how that played out. And,
Yeah.
But again, this is boxing. So if you get hit with one shot at any time, it could be good night, Irene, right? So
It's
we'll
only
see how
one
it plays
mistake.
out. And you're in trouble. And that's where the experience
What
comes
happened
into
with
play to a
Munguia?
degree.
What happened
Sure.
with Munguia against
Sure.
a guy with 4 knockouts in 26 fights?
Sure.
Or 27 fights, something
Yeah.
like that.
You know, with 8 knockouts. So, yeah, obviously.
4 knockouts only.
Was it 4? I
4.
thought it was 8. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But, that being said, when you look at those things, I do think David Morrell has much more paths to victory than Benavidez.
Nice.
And obviously, people say, well, he's in Morrell's corner. He works with Morrell. His son's with Morrell. You know, and like I said, I'll be in the corner with him. So, of course, I think that. But if you just want to look at it, just objectively, Morrell has the longer arms. Hand speed is pretty comparable. If you want to make the argument that Benavidez has the faster hands,
the way he walks,
okay, I'll give that to Benavidez.
Yeah.
But he's not the bigger puncher.
Okay.
Very tough to beat a southpaw.
Yeah.
And a southpaw who could fight on the back foot, he could turn you, he could fight on angles, he can go backwards, he can go forwards, he could beat you making it a stinker.
Yeah.
He got a lot of ways to victory. And I think Benavidez, and I know Benavidez, that being said, with any other guy, he's like a servant in there. There's a tremendous and tremendous thinker in there. Some of the things, because obviously I used to watch him day in, day out.
Yeah.
And he's like a servant. And he's unbelievable things that he can do with his mind and make adjustments and things of that nature. But this is going against David Morrell. He's a completely different animal. Benavidez has never seen an athlete like he's going to see.
Wow.
February 1st.
That agree.
Never seen.
I agree.
And it ain't. He said he's been in there with Bivol. Fantastic.
You know what I'm saying? Let me interrupt you. I think I put on the table all the facts, and you agree with that. But if Benavidez is not 100, but 1,000% physically, is dangerous because Morrell is almost every single day is ready, not only for a fight but for a marathon. You know what I mean? He's a huge athlete.
He's
right.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I tell people all the time. Obviously, this is professional prize fighting.
Yeah.
But I do tell everybody all the time. If David Morrell wasn't boxing, he'd be center field for the New York Yankees. He'd be a wide receiver for,
Dallas Cowboys.
The Cowboys. Yeah,
I love Dallas Cowboys, even if they don't win any game.
He'd be a receiver for them, a safety for them.
He's an athlete.
He's got the
He's like Deion Sanders.
He's got the fastest speed I've ever seen of any fighter I've ever been around in 30-something years. That's nobody's
amazing.
close.
Yeah. Remember this big mouth Mexican Cazares?
Who's that?
Big mouth Mexican Cazares.
Okay, yeah.
Remember? I was talking the Mexican Cazares. One round, boom, 2 left. Bye-bye. You remember the fight?
Of course.
Right?
Of course. I've been with Morrell for the better part of his whole career.
But that fight was special because it's a Mexican blah, blah. No. I mean, he's not elite, but he talks a lot. And he almost died.
Well, the Kakistan that we fought.
Oh, shit.
Unfortunately, the sport that we're in, it is dangerous. And, he almost lost his life. He'll never fight again.
I know.
And he's a handicap now for the rest of his life, unfortunately. This can happen in the sport that we're in. But on the flip side of that shows you to the magnitude of what David Morrell Jr. brings to the table.
Yeah.
He's got a lot more than people think.
Tell me something. I was in LA with this fight with Morrell the first time in 175 pounds. What happened with the adjustment? You feel good with that fight, or it's gonna increase and be better?
Well, obviously, it's your first fight moving up in a weight class. You're fighting for the world
7 pounds
title.
more.
Yeah, you're fighting for the world title for the first time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going into the fight. The fight wasn't at night. It's during the day. You got to make that kind of adjustment. So there's different things to that in terms of how long you would have to rehydrate over the day and things of that nature. But it's a good experience. He won the fight clearly.
Yeah.
He won the title that night in his first fight.
Yeah.
And I know firsthand for Benavidez, he somewhat did the same against a very durable, solid opponent.
The boss.
A lot of people were a little down on Benavidez's performance. I know David, like I said, very well. He had a few issues going into the fight. I know his hand was hurt. That's not a lie. I know that he had a little bit of issues going on, and so people were a little down on the performance. But he did what he had to do. He won the fight.
Yeah.
And now all things being equal, let's hope both guys are 100% healthy. No excuses.
Yeah.
May the best man win. And it's unfortunate they have to fight each other because I know them so well. You know,
Yeah.
I wish one of them could have got the crack at Canelo first and then fought each other.
Wow.
You know, but
you know, because the people say that Morrell take the fight early in his career. I mean, the Benavidez fight. Do you believe it's early or is the perfect time?
well, there's two trains going down the tracks.
Oh, okay, all right, let's see.
A lot of people are going to say that it's early, right? You're the coach. Maybe the coach thinks it's early. Maybe that guy thinks. But then this is a sport that's a business. It's professional prize fighting.
Is.
And sometimes you got to realize when you're Cuban, maybe you don't have the fan base yet. And this might be the only opportunity that you get to prove you're at that level.
Prove them wrong.
That being said, I know Ronnie thinks he's ready. I believe wholeheartedly he's ready.
I can tell because of your face.
Yeah, I believe
You look like
wholeheartedly
confident.
he's ready. Oh, I believe wholeheartedly
Yeah.
he's ready. And the flip side of it is, though, it is go time. He's a Cuban. You get an opportunity like this, you got to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So the big prize for Morrell is Benavidez or is either Bivol or Beterbiev? That's a hard question.
No, I think the big prize right now is what's in front of you.
Okay.
Benavidez. I think
Focus on this.
I think that's the big prize because if he, to me, to the general fan, Benavidez, the Mexican monster, named by Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I think he has a much bigger fan base than Bivol. And
By far.
so in that fight with Beterbiev, I think he has the bigger fan base with him. So I think this will take him to that next level.
Yeah.
And push us as a path forward to the winner of that next one.
I spoke with Morrell a long time ago, and several times as well. But every single time he mentioned to me, I would love to be part of the Mexican fighters. Not as a fighter, but I love the audience. I love the fans, Mexican fans, blah, blah, blah. So do you believe if he can beat Benavidez, the Mexicans are going to be with him?
Well, you know, one thing, his best friend happens to be Mexican. I'll let you know that.
Okay.
So his closest friend that when he came to the United States
He's a
actually
Mexican.
is a Mexican.
He shared with me, yeah.
Yeah, so I know he loves Mexican food. I know he loves, and everybody loves Mexican women because I'm married to one. So
Me too. Viva la ahorita.
I got a BMW, a beautiful Mexican wife. But that being said,
That's a good one. Again.
a BMW, a beautiful Mexican wife.
I will steal that one.
So, no two ways about it. He loves the Mexican people. He loves the culture. He loves the food. And I know he wants to embrace himself to the Mexican people. And there's virtually no better fan base out there. That's no disrespect. My mother's Puerto Rican, and no disrespect to any other race.
Mofongo.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, the Mexicans, the way they get behind the sport, I mean, you always got to keep it 100. They're second to none. And we love everybody out there. We love everybody that supports the sport of boxing, white, black, Chinese, whatever you may be, everybody. But obviously, Mexicans like no other really come out and
Let me
support.
tell you something, and this is as a Mexican. I will share this with you because I love you. I truly believe that the system of boxing, this is on me. It's not Bob, it's on me. They use the Mexican market, they use the Mexican boxers, and we don't receive or never receive the recognized of the big guys in boxing. It's sad. They are not doing nothing for the fan base. Sometimes with the Mexican fighters, they don't do nothing. So I celebrate as a Mexican that you recognize this.
Oh, 100%. And I'll tell you this, I wish the media in America would really get behind not only the Mexican fighters, but the Mexican fan base. Because remember, whether it's baseball, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, we need that fan base.
Let me share this with you. It's only Laura, the BMW, in my wallet. Where is Univision? Where is Telemundo? These guys, they don't give a fuck about boxing. To be honest, it's only
shame.
Canelo.
It's
With
a
all my
shame.
respect, I love Canelo. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, of course, me too.
But, you know, It's not only about Canelo. What about Benavidez? What about Morrell? What about fucking boxing? You have Figueroa. And I'm the only guy putting money on Spanish side because, I pay my travels and everything.
Sure.
Because I love boxing.
Sure.
And I believe in my community. But what about the efforts of the big chains or networks?
Well, I tell you, like ESPN, I think they got to get much
don't-
more behind it. But not only do they got to get much more behind it with the Latinos,
Yeah.
with the Mexicans,
Yeah,
and
let's
that
say
fan
Latinos.
base, but in general, in total, because they're the ones that put their hard-earned money into the sport, what
Yeah.
they watch, whether it's basketball, football, baseball,
Yeah.
and need to be much more respected. More money needs to be put in, like you said, to that community to ingratiate them. Sometimes maybe where they can do things for the tickets for the kids and things of that nature, where they can circumvent those things and drop the prices a little bit for those guys. Obviously, we know these guys put their lives on the line. We want them to get career high paydays. We want them to be able to take care of their families. And I've seen boxing change families' lives. It changed my family's life. No two ways about it. Keep kids out of trouble. Discipline, the things that come along with boxing is second to none. And so, like you said, we really need these corporations to get behind this, get behind not only the athletes, but the fans.
Yeah, maybe sponsors, whatever.
100% to that point and things of that nature. To your point, where they take a guy like you, sponsoring you, taking care of you, because guess what? That little kid coming up, maybe he doesn't want to be a boxer, but maybe he wants to be behind the microphone. Maybe he wants to do these kinds of things.
There you
and
go.
that's how you change society and the
Bingo.
communities as a whole.
Yeah. Finally, dear Bob, because he's about to attend a meeting, what moves you? What is your inspiration?
People.
Wow.
People. I love being around the fighters,
Nice.
obviously, but as a Christian, a big believer in Jesus Christ, I want to see people change their lives. The greatest satisfaction to me is like a guy like Robert Guerrero. And Robert, if you're
El
listening,
Fantasma.
he knows this. I used to tell him, there's a lot of times you're not going to like what I have to say. And you probably may, oh no, Bob, I love you. And I says, yeah, there's going to be times you are not going to like what I have to say.
Of course.
But
I know
always,
your heart.
I'm always going to
Sometimes
give
you're
you
super hard.
I'm going to give you the best of
Yeah.
what I can to make sure you're successful. And so when I see a guy like him to have a ranch paid off in California,
Amen.
have a beautiful house in Las Vegas, be able to put his kids through great schools, that ingratiates, that warms my heart more than
That's your
anything. 'Cause
part.
then I know that the hard work is paid off.
Beautiful.
Changing lives, because at the end of the day, we ain't going to be on this earth forever.
Yeah.
And it's the legacy that we live in people's lives and changing it. And that's where I get the most gratification. The more you give, the better you feel.
It's about legacy. Let me do this in Spanish. Mateo 6:36. Matthew 6:36. Primero busca el reino de Dios y su sabiduría y lo demás viene por añadidura. Matthew 6:36. You know what I mean? So,
That's Christian, 100%.
say something to your audience.
All the people that support boxing, the people that like my fighters, don't like my fighters. What I love about the sport of boxing is everybody likes different styles, different things. And so for me, even when guys go against my fighters, pick against me, that's what makes the sport great. Because if we all love the same fighter, love the same style, the same personalities, how boring would that be? So we got to love everybody and appreciate. The one thing is, though, respect everybody out there, and I respect all the boxing fans. I love you guys, and keep supporting us, our opponents, good, bad, and in between. I love the sport of boxing. God bless you.
Viva Puerto Rico y viva México. Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
No Puedes Jugar Boxeo es presentado por SEYER en los puños de los campeones desde 1930.